Disclaimer, this video touches on socio-political topics, my beliefs on such topics, and the actions of other content creators on the platform. This isn't a condemnation of them, but analysis of why I believe they were in the wrong, and logical examples of why I harbor said beliefs. Again, this analysis is my beliefs and mine alone, and are not representative of anyone associated with this channel or myself. Controversy. Starfield is the latest game to release from Bethesda, but this time the controversy isn't about the bugs, but about the inclusion of choosing pronouns instead. This isn't the first game to do so, it's becoming commonplace, but we'll talk about my feelings on it later. First, I want to talk about this. Heelvsbabyface made a rant, a passion-fueled speech on why he hates this inclusion. It's 100% his opinion and he has every right to have it. Saying the inclusion of socio-political things such as this is boring and that it breaks immersion is a fair argument that I've seen nobody truly argue against. Instead, I've seen this. We're going to ignore Hasan and his thoughts. Not worth the time, moving on. Let's talk about a content creator that actually cares about games, that has some form of intelligence, and a huge following that he could have used to make a difference. Act 1. Actman. Actman posted this. The issue isn't with his stance on the issue, not with the fact that he disagrees with Az. The issue is that with all his followers, his position where he can actually make an impact, he doesn't even have a true defense here. Instead of raising an argument, bringing up a single point made by Az, he insults the way that he looks, which is something unrelated that can't be changed from the ground up with a new foundation. It's an insult that holds as much water as a cup with no bottom. He then says that Az should be bang-banged with a bear tranquilizer. This is wishing harm on someone that disagrees with you, and given the dosage in a bear tranquilizer, there's a high chance that it would unalive him. Wishing death on the person sharing a different opinion. That's what a content creator that has the power to actually sway opinion decided to do instead of formulate an actual argument. This is exceptionally disappointing, especially given the intelligence that Actman has, and the respect he has garnered. He may not see a bigger picture for the drama, may not understand why some people may hate it, but refusing to acknowledge the argument is the exact opposite way to argue. If I've learned anything, it's that you have to take both sides into consideration, and someone with his experience should definitely know that. There's no excuse, even if it's because he's angry, which brings me into Act 2. Angry Joe. Now, I was a huge supporter of Angry Joe. The first thing I used to do after school, and even during school when I could get away with it, was watch whatever his latest video was. His brand was going against the greedy corporations, the corporate commander, with his angry army of G.I. Joes. I used to be proud to be a part of that army, till I disagreed with him politically and learned that he hates when someone has a differing opinion than he does. Attacking his fans, calling entire political parties out as parroting as if they are incapable of thinking for themselves based on their beliefs, he became extremely toxic and extremely disrespectful to the millions of fans that are the reason he's as big as he is. Joe's been attacking his political enemies as normal, but in terms of this situation, he's also done some retweeting, joining the issue of not actually building any semblance of a constructive argument, using his platform that could be used to make a difference to instead further a divide, and ultimately waste the blessing that is right in front of him. He's basically got his angry army running like a dictatorship, but instead of using that opportunity to enforce whatever change he believes is right, he'd rather just be angry at everything instead. I believe Joe is smart, truly, and that if he took a step back from the angry persona, he could actually establish some points and maybe be the change he wants to see. Alas, here we are yet again, with him putting himself above those he used to champion, acting like the corporations he used to fight against. Act 3. Everyone. The biggest issue I've seen here is that 90% of the people on either side refuse to respectfully acknowledge the other. The "it's just a game" people don't acknowledge the potential harms or fears of the "it's a slippery slope" people, whereas the "it's a slippery slope" people don't acknowledge how pronouns can be important to a person's role-playing experience in a role-playing game. Arguments for both sides build themselves, but everyone would rather call each other names, make threats and spread lies than actually have a conversation. There are good examples somewhere on both sides as well, but I brought these two up as examples just because of how much I do respect their intellectual capacity to critique entertainment and the fact that having that capacity is literal proof that they are capable of thinking analytically. So what stops them from actually doing so? From respecting others' right to an opinion without insulting them, degrading them, mocking them, you get the idea. Literally nothing. All this power, all this influence, and they decide to act like this. It sets a poor example for their fans and a poor precedent as a whole. My thoughts. Now the moment you've been waiting for. How do I feel about the they-them pronouns in Starfield? I get it. It's a slippery slope and sets a bad precedent of we got away with this, so what can we get away with next time? But as far as I've heard, it's never brought up again, so it won't impact the experience onward from there. Is it dangerous to confuse kids? It's possible. But if it's not overly explained, pushed, or forced, it's hard to make that argument. That being said, I won't be paying full price for Starfield. I'm not putting my vote in for wanting whatever is next once we go down that road, and it's entirely principle for me. You want to play the game day one? Go ahead. Do whatever the heck makes you happy, but if this has a ripple effect, I don't want to hear about how you never saw it coming. Is it worth the risk of games becoming westernized messes of political discourse like many other forms of media have? Make sure you know the answer to that first. I also understand that some people want those westernized beliefs. They want to live out their space adventure like their adventure today, fully believing that these ideas will still be around in that point of time. If this game is for you, because you want this, then this is your chance to make that stance. Voting with your wallet, right here, right now, make your choice. And if you have a voice, have a platform, be a good influence at the very least. Be somebody that others not only could, but should look up to. This world needs more leaders willing to unify at every possible time. Be one of them. Be better than the ones that came before you. Better than me. It's never too late to speak up. Even if you make mistakes, learn from them. Like I'm trying to do. Like I want to do. Everyone is capable of making a difference, having an impact, being the change they want to see. So what's stopping you? Nothing. If you have a passionate stance on either side, on anything, whether you agree with me or you don't, doesn't matter. Make an account, make a video, and try to reach people. But most importantly, try to learn from the mistakes that people like myself have made as you go about it. I'm not attacking the two channels mentioned in the chapters of this video, but instead using them as a learning opportunity for you, as well as offer advice on how I believe political discourse should be handled. I may not be the perfect example of what I want to see, but learn from the mistakes that I make and have made as I constantly strive to do better with every video. Surpass yourself and make a difference in whatever capacity that resonates with you when you hear that sentence. I believe in you. So do it. I'm up at 3:45 in the morning recording this just because I feel like it might matter and might make a difference to at least one person. For more news, reviews, and whatever we choose, stay tuned to Nerdsfeed. Have a great day. Thank you.